if you look at the National Football League, there's also investors wanting to go in. Like, what do we know about the next wave of succession?
Yeah, well, Francine, as you say, it's a show, but it's also a show business, and it is $1 billion business. I mean, the NFL's revenue last year was $20 billion. And look, I'm not a quarterback, but I do love a good story, and today's Big Take is really good. And it focuses on this kind of family succession problem that we're seeing in the NFL. And something that's really unique about the NFL is it has been very family-oriented, very family ownership-oriented, especially compared to a lot of sports. I mean, until the 1980s, a single individual had to own 51% of a team. So we're slowly seeing some of that change. We're seeing some of the tax implications of trying to pass on these teams through generations. And we're seeing some people potentially want to sell to private equity, and private equity being very open to that.
So private equity, are they doing because it's jewels and it's fun and it's famous, or is it actually because they want to make money out of it? Can they make money out of it?
I would say there's a little bit of both. I mean, we've seen huge appreciation in these teams. I mean, from 2020 to 2023, some of these franchises on average, they appreciated 70%. The average team in the NFL is worth $5 billion. And if you're thinking about this from kind of a private equity perspective, you see a business where there's been kind of mom and pop owners, right? But that are incredibly lucrative. Maybe there's some management issues and then potential rule changes. And so this looks like a prime opportunity. But as you say, it's also really fun. It's kind of cool to say that you have some ownership in an NFL team.
It is. It's like a jewel in the crown,
yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like the thing that it's good at a party, basically, to put that into conversation. What does an NFL owned by private equity look like?
Well, it probably looks like a lot of different kind of sports teams. In the U.S., you do have, more private investors in baseball, in hockey. We know that in, European football and soccer, you do see a lot of this. You see, player salaries in other sports teams just like escalating, whereas in football, those salaries are actually fairly well controlled. So you could see some serious changes. A lot of these families, some of them do want to offload to private equity, but some of them want to retain that control. And there is this element of being a part of the community. You get kind of local celebrities buying in at sometimes. You get former, stars from some of these teams owning parts of these businesses. And so that could change.